And there we go. We have started. Hello, my name is Gavin Kerr. Welcome to another episode of Between the Notes. Today I am here with, and I've not looked up how to say any of these names, so I'm just going to try to figure it out here. Velnias.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Velnias. Hi, Kevin. How are
Velnias.
you?
We're doing great.
Yeah,
How are you? And then the name of the band is Romuvos.
Romuvos. Yeah, yeah.
Romuvos. All right, it's close.
Pretty
So
close.
even
Yeah.
though even though your other bandmates aren't here, I also want to try to get their names as well. I really enjoy trying to pronounce um, names that seem like exotic or foreign to me. It's like a fun mental exercise. So on
Okay.
bass you have let's see,
Ojuolas. Yeah.
Azulas. All right. On drums you have uh, Murox.
Morox. Yeah. You're
Morox. All
pretty
right.
close. Yeah.
All right, I'm getting it. I'm also trying to read my horrible handwriting.
8 out of 10 by now.
8 of 10. And then on, I know that you do vocals, guitar, key, percussion, and melodica. You do a lot of stuff in the
Yes.
band, yeah. Uh,
Um.
we'll get into that in just a moment. But then the
Okay.
other member that you have on guitar is Monarch. Let's see, Ella,
Yeah.
Erhelbutta.
It's hard even for me. He made up
Yeah,
his name. This is from his last black metal band. So he kept the episode in going on. Yeah,
Erhelbutta.
but
Is that what it
let's stay
is?
with Monarch. Yeah,
Monarch. You got Monarch on
yeah,
guitar.
as a
Yeah.
brothers or something. As long as nobody identify us as the real persons we are okay with that.
Awesome, love it. Then, so yeah, but you do a lot. I'm curious because I've yet to hear this. What is melodica?
Melodica. Wait, where is mine? I will show you.
Am I
Oh
gonna get
crap!
a live little performance here?
That is not a problem, but I need first to find it. Where have I? Ah, here it is. Okay, so melodica. It's a pretty cool instrument,
Yeah.
which works as a keyboard, but not on batteries, but you blow into a tube while playing with it. And most of our albums, we use this. Like the first two albums, it's pretty much.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah, this is the tool,
So
and
is
pretty
that
easy
what
to
I'm
jam.
hearing? Is that what I'm hearing instead of bagpipes then when I listen to your music?
It depends because yeah,
Okay.
most of the time we didn't use bagpipes. I think we used it a couple of times in the last album only
Yeah.
because it's a really hard instrument to play on, and our folk instrument Black Bard, he plays on a lot of instruments. As long as he plays on nickel harpa keyboards, he plays on weird, guitar stuff and folklorish instruments, and he also plays the bagpipe, but it's pretty hard, and it's hard, so we didn't use it
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. I've looked into playing the bagpipes because I've always thought that it's one of those instruments where if you don't know how to play it, it's one of the most annoying sounds in the world. But if you do know how to
Hmm.
play it, it is one of the most badass instruments there is out there.
Yeah, exactly. Like trumpets.
Yeah, yes, I absolutely like trumpets. Well, in high school, for a couple years, I did band, and I was a trombone, and we had about 50 trumpets, and I just remember going
Oh,
crazy, sitting in that chair, listening to one by one them mess up their part while they're trying to learn how to play it properly. So,
okay.
so tell me a bit about this band. This is a new genre that I've actually started to get into before I was introduced to you guys. Very something that's become very popular right now on social media, specifically TikTok, has been more folk type music, specifically sea shanties or Viking chants. So this was very exciting for me because I've sort of seen like online this wave of this kind of music sort of being introduced to a wider population. How did you guys start? I know you were back in 2014 is when the band became a thing.
Yep.
How did you guys form, and how did you decide what kind of music you wanted to do?
Okay, so at the beginning, I think it was around 2013. I started to write songs, more of like black metal stuff, which I always played with bands in that genre. But I wanted to combine some folk stuff as well,
Yeah.
and I made a demo. I sent it to No Colors Records in Germany, and Stefan, the owners, he just told me, man, you just need to do the folk stuff. The black metal is in the combination. You're good in something, so just roll with it. And he gave me
Yeah.
this direction to go to, and I went, and it was really fun because this is one of the music genres which as a kid I really admired. I come from background of Dungeons and Dragons role playing, Lord of the Rings stuff. I really
Yeah.
influenced about knighthood and storytelling and stuff like that and
Did you
ancient
ever
times.
get into LARPing?
No,
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 really. That's something I've
just
wanted to
role
get
playing.
into. Yeah.
Just role, yeah, just role playing. And I started to compose the first album, and it was released as a one-man band. And 2 years later, I was about to release the second album, In Front of Destiny, which was already done and recorded and mixed. And then before the release, I just said, okay, stop. I want real drums. I want real
Yeah.
players. I want to be a band.
Yeah.
With the opportunity to perform, but wasn't the main issue. I wanted to sound like a real full band because I think if you
Yeah.
get a real good band, it can have a lot of more impact to the music and the production, and it gets like the whole picture. So it was very natural for me to just make few phone calls because I know a few guys which today are the bandmates of Romuvos, and we hook up together, start playing, and it was like magic. Until now, we are friends, and yeah, we still
Hell
playing
yeah.
together.
That is
Yeah,
awesome. I definitely understand the wanting to have the authentic and real instruments in your music because we were talking about this in the last episode of Between the Notes that there is like something that the human brain catches on to when you have a program versus you have somebody actually playing it. There's a quality to it. There's something about it like a
exactly,
spark.
exactly.
You can just kind of tell when it's something
Hmm.
off. So I really do appreciate that you wanted to, even though you had everything ready to go, was that a difficult decision for you to make? You know, you went through, you wrote all the music and everything, you even recorded it, you're ready to release it, and you're like, you know what? No, back to not quite square one, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, pretty damn close. It was hard, but it was the good decision.
Yeah,
You cannot go on and be like, maybe I'm doing a mistake. No, you need to
yeah,
just go for it. And because I came from a lot of bands, and I know what it is to be a part of a band and
yeah.
to play in a band, which has its difficulties, a
Yes,
lot
it
of
does.
them. And that's why I was lone wolf for a few years and just made my own music and didn't give a fuck about anything. So
Yeah,
later on, I decided that it is time to like give it the last push. I'm close to 40 now,
yeah,
so I wanted to do something that will leave a mark, and I really got missed to the band stuff, to the fun stuff in being in a band,
yeah.
which you can perform with. So that is a major part of it, but it's also, the spark you said,
Yeah.
which is pretty correct because it has a magic into it, and everyone puts into the music his own style of playing and introduces something of his own into the composition, and that is great. Yeah, so it was inevitable, I think, looking back.
Do you continue? Are you still the main composer of the band now that you have the other members, or do they all write their own parts now, or how's the writing changed since you've added members?
Well, we are just working on the fourth album, and
Yeah,
it takes quite time. But yeah, I'm most of the songs. I'm the main composer, but I give like a skeleton. Then
Yeah,
we build some, tissues on it and muscles, and
yeah.
it's becoming either a Frankenstein or something more. And we
little
work
more
it out
graceful, yeah.
together. We work it out together, like Blackboard and Monarch has a lot of inputs. They change few stuff. They change the composition. Sometimes they change the buildup of the songs instead of like verse chorus and C part or stuff like that. They say,
Yeah.
okay, let's switch those. Let's change this. Let's do. So I can say that today we are fully into together into the writing of the album.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that your music's definitely changed a lot sound wise, just having these different influences in the band. Then, I mean, even having one person there with you makes that much of a difference, but having three other people definitely changes the majority of the sound. Are you recording all this on your own, or do you have a studio that you rent out or go to get it done?
Okay, so we had a real professional studio because Monarch has its had his
Yeah,
studio, and it was real professional. It was his day job as being the owner of a recording studio, so that was fun. We had a
yeah,
lot of equipment to play with. These days, we have the opportunity to record by ourselves because we have a good equipment and microphones, but the drums will have to be recorded in a studio, probably.
yeah,
And the mix and mastering, we are working with Tidal Waves in Germany, which is also the bass player and the production of Falkenbach, which is a
yeah,
big German folk band and a major influence on our music.
yeah. You're in Berlin, correct?
Monarch in Berlin. I will
Okay.
surprise you. I live in Israel, so
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah, we are in the middle of a war
Right.
while speaking.
Yeah, good God. I mean, how does that work? I hope one, you
Well,
seem like you're safe. I hope you stay safe during all the shit going on over there right
I
now. But
this studio is also a safe zone in the house, which in Israel is mandatory to build a room which can hold bombs,
yeah,
like a safe underground thing. But it's not underground; it's steel and concrete and stuff like that.
I
Yeah, it's
like that your
pretty.
safe room is also your recording room. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That shows you're a true musician. You're like, there's a nuclear war out there, but as long as I got my strings, I'm good to go.
Exactly. Well, I'm
Yeah,
I'm one of those folk metal musicians that I can say for my fans that not they all sing about battles and wars and stuff like that, and we are not just singing about it, but we actually record under alarms sometimes and missiles going up in the air. So yeah.
yeah, that's got to be. Well, now and I'm curious, like, because I'm assuming that you've gone to other countries before to meet up with your bandmates and things like that, or at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. How long have you lived in Israel? How long have you lived in this war state?
Oh, it comes and goes. Now it's
Okay.
like the last 11 days are pretty harsh. Not where I
Yeah.
live. It's it's in the half of Israel which is souther. I'm in the northern
Yeah.
side, so I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah.
Uh, there are some tensions, and where
Yeah.
I work is also a place like in the middle of all the shit going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty, you get used to it. It's hard. It's really weird to say it, but yeah, you get used to it, and
Well, I mean, you kind of have to after a while, but because that's the point I'm getting at. Do you have any sort of like anxieties or like PTSD when you travel out of into like safe areas? You know, like you go out and like you hear like fireworks or something. Do you think like, oh shit, like they're
oh
here now?
yes, not
Yeah.
like that, but yeah, sometimes you hear a motorcycle goes like, "Woo," and you think it's the alarm going on, So it's like, oh
Really?
no, it's okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn.
It happens. It happens, yeah. And also, I
Yeah.
served the army because I live in Israel for too many years now. I came from Lithuania, and I'm a Lithuanian. This is a way for me. The music is, by the way, a way for me to, sing about the stuff that came from the Baltic region, Lithuania and Latvia, where my parents came from, and it connects me to something that I like to be connected to.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's nice and it's a getaway, The music is for me like a getaway from all the politics and stuff like that, which I'm not involved into.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because that's a lot of what you're writing about. Is like, because I've gone through your lyrics, and there are a lot of stories. Like, and
Yeah,
I actually really enjoy that. There's stories about like this one. Let's see, what is it? Memel 1257. Am I saying that correctly?
yeah,
You
yeah,
have the music video for it. Yep. The
yep.
sound of horns in the distance will praise our ride, born with the spear in our hands and fierce in our eyes. Just like you're just singing about just getting ready to go into battle, and it's really, really intense, especially with the music behind it, the buildup that you have for it. Is this inspired by how much of these stories are inspired by what's going on around you right now, and then how much is inspired by the battles that have happened in the past that you researched?
Well, they fully inspired by the past and historic research, which is really, really epic history in the Baltic region. I
Yeah,
changed the history of the pagans in Lithuania and Latvia for days to come. And the battles are really important because those were the last battles fought between the pagans and the Christian invaders. And to sing about those battles, it's really, I don't know, natural for a Baltic band, to have this
yeah,
subject. So I studied about those battles and to sing about them and to put some, theatric, like you said, stuff in the lyrics to emphasize some parts of the battle, to try to go inside the mind of the warriors or the epic story going on
yeah.
with the epic music behind it. So this is the theme of all the album. Like each song represent a battle that took place and really true history facts there and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, a song that really stuck out to me was "Poems for the Dead."
Hmm.
That the all the just I'm reading. I got the lyrics in front of me right now, just talking about their journey. Where we sailed all over the ocean, we have traveled across the land, rest by the fire. We have fought in hand. Just a sense of brotherhood and struggle, but then also the unity of success of getting through all this shit that they've been going through. It's really powerful, and I love the melodic feel to it, especially in the beginning. Before you do guys do a really great job at having this sort of this build up just all throughout the song where it goes up and down. I feel a lot of modern artists, a lot of big name artists, one of the issues that they do have is they go up and up and up and then they got nowhere to go. But you kind of let the music, not only you let the music breathe the tension, but you let yourself breathe too. There's a lot of songs where you're not singing, or you are singing but you're not singing words, you're not singing any lyrics, you're giving your
Hmm.
voice being a true instrument. Added to that, how do you go about determining like when you need to sing and when you don't, and when you just want to let everything kind of breathe?
Oh well, that's a hard question because most of the time it
Yeah,
comes, easy.
yeah,
If you start to write a song and it's very, naturally going, and you don't need to think like, okay, which part I'm going to do now? No, this one isn't good. And it's just the flow. In Poems of the Dead, it was really,
yeah,
I think it was the first song I ever written under the Romuvos name, and the second was under the Baltios, and it was very, I heard a lot of Bathory at the moment and Falkenbach, and I had all my inspiration into it, and I just, all right, let's write an epic song about warriors travel, and let's do like a celebration for the ones who died, and had a lot
yeah,
of travels in their lives, like true Vikings and stuff like that, and warriors. I had all my inspiration going on, and it just went on. And also the lyrics, everything was in a big flow of
yeah.
energy. And I think this is what good about this song. It's really naturally going.
No, where did this the inspiration come from to have this specific genre of band? Like, were your parents pagan and they taught you the fables and everything and the stories and the history of all the wars, or like did you just kind of pick this up one day on your own and thought, "Wow, this is badass. I want to really identify with this."
Well, in Lithuania and Latvia, it's really an issue. Like the pagans, those are Christian countries today, yeah, like the
Yeah.
government is Christian and etc. But all the people there till this day celebrate the big dates of the pagans and festivals for the pagan stuff and celebration and historic dates, which they really celebrate and have a lot of honor towards the pagan tradition. Uh, so as a kid, I remember my grandmother told me stories about it and stuff like that. But I think that I had this, like I said before, a big part of me since I was a kid, and started to listen to Iron Maiden and all those bands that
Yeah.
I'm a metalhead since I was born. I think
Yes. Love it.
I started listening to music since I heard Iron Maiden and Metallica. So since then
Yeah.
it was like, wow, what is that? So I feel like so I'm so attracted to stuff like knights and dragons and warriors and folk and Vikings and all this genre. This very for me it's very natural to just write music about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so on the one hand, I have something that ring a bell when I started to think about writing folk metal. I was like, hey, I come from a very folk rich tradition, so why not just write about that? Because not a lot of bands speak about this part of pagan Europe.
Yeah.
And traditions. So let's just write about that. There are a lot of stories which I know that I can write songs about,
Yeah.
and folk tales, Lithuanian folk tales which I know. It was mandatory.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, for me, being ignorant to a lot of the stuff and not knowing a lot of the folk lore or any of the history of it, all this really stands out to me. Like all this, I'm like, whoa, this is a lot to take in. But what one of your songs or lyrics stands out to you? Like, what was something that you wrote and you're all like, God damn, that was good.
Well, first of all, Return Back Home, which is a song from the second album. It's a really ballad. It's even not that metal, but it's so
Yeah,
it has a lot of emotion into it because it talks about someone that comes back and returns to his land and to his family and to his where he belongs after a war or some kind of a journey. And it's based on a real and true old folk song from the Lithuanian tradition, which I took the lyrics and add my own lyrics, but the chorus is the same. I didn't touch the chorus, and the first verse and the second verse are true to the lyric wise.
yeah,
Music wise, it was in the same flow I had with Poems for the Dead, which came out like very naturally and didn't have to think about each note and stuff like that. It just had the flow, so I'm pretty much connected to that song. Under the Glaciers of the Baltios, which is the opening song of the debut album, the first album, Romuvos, is also a song which I'm really connected to. And each time we go on stage and play that song, it's like, I really enjoy playing it. There are songs
yeah.
that you're like, yes, this one is next on our playlist. So yeah, I'm really pumped, and it's very fun to just keep playing it to people. And as you said, Poems for the Dead. It's a really really nice song that I think it was the first, and I I think this is the one I love most.
Awesome. Oh my god. I'm trying to imagine now what a concert of you guys would be like. Because I live here in America. I've gone to a handful of concerts. Iron Maiden being one of them. I actually saw them in Detroit for the Book of Souls tour. That was probably the most diverse show I've ever been to. There was every kind of walk of life that I could possibly think of was at that show. It was amazing. But what would I expect if I were to come to? I'm assuming that you'd be playing in Germany if you guys were to get together. If I were to come to Germany and see you guys live, what should I expect at this show or festival or whatever it may be? Maybe it's a bar. Where what would my experience be?
Okay, so first of all of our shows still today were in big venues, big festivals, because it's really hard to fly over for, we cannot tour that much.
Yeah,
Because I have kids, I have a day job. Most of us have a day job, and just
yeah,
leave it all and go for a month or 2 months of touring
yeah,
is something which is really hard to plan and to execute, especially when it costs a lot of money. There is not incomes in this kind of industry. The
yeah.
folk metal music is not, we're not
It's
getting
not booming right now. Yeah,
limousines.
yeah.
We're not getting any
The
limousines and stuff like
yeah,
that. So we need to pay about like a lot of flight tickets to fly equipment, and so we most of the shows are in big festivals. Most of them are connected to pagan festivals, pagan metal and black metal.
yeah,
So the atmosphere is killer. Like you have this place in the festival, which it's like a small village of pagan people dressed in the unique clothing and tents, and they can teach you how to throw an axe and how to shoot a bow, and you can buy like horns and stuff like that, and knives like made out of
yeah.
handmade stuff. And you have a lot of crazy people there, which are really fun to drink with. Like everybody is enthusiastic about pagan and metal, and it's really connected. Paganism and metal. It's like really
Yeah,
goes good together. It's like beer and weed.
yeah.
so so yeah, it's really nice. And the show itself, well, you can see on YouTube we have a few live shows uploaded there. So we dressed up, we have our costumes, and yeah, we put all our hearts on the stage. We like to co-work with the audience and to combine them in the song, make them like shout in parts of the
Yeah.
songs, and to do it together, drink together most of the time, like make cheers between the songs and stuff like that. So it's really nice. Yeah.
No, that sounds amazing. Do you like that? That really sounds like an awesome atmosphere. And I've seen a lot of people who have gone to those kind of shows. We have like the medieval festivals here and stuff like that, and we have pagan metal shows here. I'm just yet to be able to go to one, mostly because of COVID now, because like I found out about them and then everything was shut down, unfortunately.
Ah, crap.
Um,
Yeah.
I know, but things are starting to open back up, at least here in the States, thankfully. So hopefully I will be able to go out and see some shows here pretty soon. I'm really, really dying for a concert. I've seen the outfits that you guys have, and I got to say, they're really impressive, awesome outfits they put together. Do you wear those the entire festival, or do you get off stage and then go change your clothes real quick?
In few festivals, we stayed with the costumes because we just were too drunk to get it off. But on most of the shows, it's warm, like they are in the
Yeah.
summer time, so it's real leather, and it's really hot in those costumes. So as soon as we go off stage, we usually just take it off and
Yeah.
put some t-shirts on and go to drink.
Nice. So, and you mentioned too that the genre that you've chosen isn't like a very huge money making genre unless you write like a hit song that becomes really trendy online or something like that. So because of that, what is the goal? What are like your goals for the band and what you guys want to do?
Yeah, well, I gotta be honest. As a musician, I think that my goal today is just to produce music. As long as I can just release an album and few people out there will listen to it and enjoy out of it, it's awesome. I'm not asking more.
Yeah,
If few shows pop and we some festivals make contact with us, it's okay. We are not one of those bands that go promoting recklessly and just making everybody, oh, you gotta listen to us and please let us go to your festival or to let us
yeah,
perform on your stage. No, we are not like that. We just wait till someone calls us and we rehearse and come to the show. I think that these days I can say that I really, as a kid, my dream was to be a rock star,
yeah,
and that happened slightly with a few changes. It's like I'm getting the taste of a rock star for a few hours once in a year, but
Yeah,
but most of the time, no. I don't think anything bigger than that gonna happen. I'm not aiming for something big to happen. I won't say no if something
yeah.
happens, but I'm not. I'm not. That's okay. I love being. Just to do it because I love doing it, not
Good.
because I have um, targets and
Yeah,
stuff like
you're
that.
not searching for the fame or the money or anything. You
Exactly.
just it's
Exactly.
because you're passionate about it. I love that. I can
Exactly.
definitely respect that. For me, well, like when I do music, I've pretty much, in all honesty, I've reached all my goals. I've done a sold out show was goal of mine. It wasn't a huge venue, but it was one that we sold out the
Nice.
tickets for. I was very happy
Wow.
about that. We headlined our show, and then I think the only one of my goals that I've yet to do is I would like to pay I'd like to pay a bill with my music. Like it could be my phone
Ah,
bill
okay.
or like my my $80 car insurance. I drive a piece of crap car, so it could be like one of those. If I can pay one of those with my
Nice.
music, money from my music, then there I've made it and I am happy. I've done everything else, you know.
Nice.
I got the alcohol poisoning one time. I had the regrettable one night stand, like did all that rock star shit, and now I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
pay one bill.
Nice.
That's it. I
There
gotta
are two
imagine.
kinds. There are two kinds of musicians. The ones that sit and look on, let's say Metallica, and they say, "Wow, man, I want to be like Metallica. They have all those great gigs, and look at the crowd, look at their tour bus, look at their airplanes, and all that."
Yeah,
And they're the one that would look at Metallica and would say, "Wow, man, I want to be like Metallica because they know how to fucking play. I want to play
yeah,
like them. I want to be. I want to have this sound. They
yeah,
don't. This is the thing that musicians want to go for. To be
yeah.
like good musicians and just do their music the best way they can. What comes after that, it's not about.
And I think
It's
that's where
only
you find the true artist. I don't want to say the true musicians, but the true artists you find, because
yeah,
there are those who, how you said,
exactly.
they're materialistic. That's what they're going for. Because in all
Hmm.
honesty, if they could have that Metallica level of money and fame and stuff doing anything else, and they knew they could get it, then that's what they would be doing because that's what they're hunting
Exactly.
for. And then you have, how you said, you have the artists who want the skill, who have the passion for it, and that's what I try to be. Like I want to have the passion, and I try to have the passion to get these skills for whatever it is I'm doing, and then the happiness and the money are a byproduct of it. If you're just chasing money, if you're just chasing popularity, if you're just chasing happiness, oftentimes you're going to find out that you end up getting the opposite of it. You end up losing
Exactly.
out and missing out on
Exactly.
opportunities. But when those are byproducts of a bigger, solid goal, something that you know that you can obtain, and you let those be byproducts of it, then they just come naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Well, yeah. What you said you got a day job. What do you do for your day job?
I work in Intel, the processors company. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, we are working in the factory. I monitor the machines that produce processors,
Yeah.
which is pretty high tech, and futuristic job for someone that wants to live out of the land to raise piglets and
Well, no, I love it because a lot of people they always think like, oh, you're in a band, you live a life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll all the time, but it's not the case. Like
no,
you got a
no.
day job, you got how many kids? You said 3 kids.
Twins. No, twins,
You got
two, boy and a
twins.
girl. Oh,
Ah,
today the first time they're 5 years old, and today I just taught them how to ride bicycles
oh my God! Congratulations,
with
that's
no
amazing.
injuries. With no injuries. Yeah.
That that is awesome. And that is that's I feel like in my mind that is such a big landmark of being a parent is teaching your kids how to ride a bike.
Yeah, it's like swim. Next
Yeah,
thing is the
exactly.
swimming,
Yep.
and
Yep, you teach them how to swim, you teach them how to ride a bike, and then you teach them to wipe their ass, and you're set. There you go.
oh
Like,
yeah, well, the rest is my goal. I'm not there yet. You
no.
touched up. Yeah, that's touchdown.
Yep, there you go. Oh, but that's
And
amazing.
you're
But yeah,
not a
so
parent, and you know that. Okay.
yeah, no, I'm not a parent. I'm 21 years old. But I have a lot of little siblings. I have quite a few friends. I grew up with a lot of young parents, so I got to learn from their mistakes. Me being one of those mistakes, and yeah, well, my parents they were 17 and 19 when they had me, so I kind of grew up watching teenagers become adults in a sense, which forced me to become instead of growing up from like a toddler to a child to a teenager. I kind of grew up from like a toddler to a teenager to a young adult
Oh,
really
uh-huh.
fast. Yeah, and then I have always worked in restaurants, so I've worked with people who are the same age as me to 2 years younger to people who are 30 years older than me. So I've definitely kind of like cherry picked information from all of them, and then also doing all the interviews. I get a
Yeah,
lot of
you coming with a
perspectives.
lot of tips to your next.
Yeah, yeah. I live vicariously through a lot of people, thankfully. So I
Oh,
get to learn
nice,
from
nice.
everyone else's mistakes and
That
then
is a
look at
good
myself.
approach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very good approach.
Was music always your passion though? Like growing up, because I know I've had a lot of different interests, different hobbies, and everything that I've wanted to do. But music's always been something that's stuck with me. Did you always know you wanted to be in a band? Were you always hunting for that, or did you have some other dreams growing up?
Yeah, so first of all, yes, music is a big passion in my life, but I started to play pretty much, I think it was when I was 14 years old. I started to play keyboards. I saw
Yeah.
Cradle Filth video clip, and the keyboard player with, like a vampire and his long hair. It was like with the organ sound, of the church, like
Yeah.
dun, dun. And I was like, wow, this is what I want to be. And that was my goal. But I also paint. I'm a painter. All the painting is in Romuvos. This is what I painted them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all the designs, the graphic designs, the paintings, everything I do on my own.
Do you sell any of them
Um,
as merch?
no,
No.
the
Okay.
CDs, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
We have to cover the expenses of the recording and the mix and mastering, and
yeah.
so we sell CDs. But no, I'm not selling any art paintings or stuff like that. No, this is again something that I never thought making money out of it. It's a passion. I just an artist in my heart. I need to paint. I paint. I love it. It's
Yeah.
something. It's one of my ways of communicating in this world is music and paints. So it's pretty much through art I express myself even better to people, I think, because this is the way that I can say what I want to say and use the best instruments to say it for me. They are not
Yeah.
harmful or stuff like that. So you have that, and I really, really love surfing, wave surfing. So I surfed in a lot of places in the world. Yeah, it's pretty. Oh wow, this is.
Yeah. No, I was definitely shocked. 'Cause,
I'm
well,
bipolar or
I'm
something. I don't know.
terrible at Uh, I'm not very great at geography. But I'm pretty sure there is not an ocean nearby in Israel, unless I'm completely wrong.
Well, there is the Mediterranean Sea. It's not an ocean, but you have pretty nice waves
Okay.
here and there, here and there. It's
Okay.
not wow, but yeah, I surfed. Yeah, you can surf like once a week, twice a month, 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Catch nice waves, not like fancy or something like that. But yeah, you can surf in Israel. Most of it's a coastline, so and it's a
Yeah.
thin country, so it's like most of the chances you're 20, 30 minutes tops driving from the sea. And I grew up next to the shore, so next to the coastline. Till this day, I'm 10 minutes drive out of the sea. And I surfed also Brazil and Costa Rica and Sri Lanka and stuff like that. Yeah. It's awesome. I
Wow.
love it. It's connection with nature. This is what I love about nature, that it's only you and nature, nothing
Yeah.
else. No phones, no technology, no something with motor or fuel or
Yeah.
something that, it's like wow, and you need to deal with it and to play with it. It's like
Yes.
you dancing tango with the ocean. It's really something that I'm mostly connected to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like a lot of people. when you take yourself and put yourself completely in nature, completely disconnected from the rest of the world, at first you feel a little bit of anxiety because we're so used to having our phones in our pocket, where it's like it's a part
Exactly.
of our body now where it needs to be attached at all
Hmm.
times. But when you have none of that and you're in the middle of the woods or somewhere where there is not civilization within eyesight of you, you at first feel this anxiety of, oh my god, I'm completely vulnerable, I'm completely alone right now, what if something happens? But then it very quickly, by the sound of the wind blowing through the trees and birds chirping and
Exactly.
whatever else around you, you just feel this calm warmth come over you and you realize I'm completely alone right now and I'm
There is the
okay.
moment, yeah, there is the
Yeah.
moment when you take a deep breath, and this breath is the first time you're like, oh, that was oxygen, I think. That was
Yeah.
like, that was pure. Wow. And
Yeah.
then you start like, okay, what is that? And like you said, the birds, and you notice stuff that are so beautiful and so naturally
Yeah.
combined with human, and you never been there. You're not used to this connection, and this connection is, I think, the first connection you're supposed to be feeling good with, and not
Yeah.
anxiety and stuff like that. But as you said, most of our environment today is cell phones, walls, cars,
Fluorescent
stuff.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's a lot of computer screens and fluorescent lights
yeah.
in your face all the time. You know, it's like being in like a school or a doctor's office and you just can't get out.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
okay, it's
yeah,
okay. It's part of evolution or stuff like that. But
yeah.
sometimes to go out to the nature, and sometimes we go camping or stuff like that, which is really nice. I love it. Yeah.
That's what I need to do. I need to go camping. It's been quite a while. Now, when you go camping, do you go like, are you doing like actual camping where you got like a tent or maybe just like a tarp above you and a sleeping bag, or are you doing like the trailer kind of thing? Like, what's your
It used,
definition of camping?
well, when I was younger, it used to be tents.
Yeah,
When I grow up, I like the air conditioned stuff,
yeah.
so it's better come
I
with
don't
a
blame you.
restaurant.
Yeah,
With a restaurant or something like that, because
yeah,
no, it changes, but I hope that
yeah,
through my kids I will experience that again, the stuff with
yeah.
the tents and sleeping bags and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done all those different versions, and I gotta say, I think they're all equally enjoyable in different ways. It's all what you
Yeah.
make of it. Like I've done in a camper where you wake up and you go down to the lake or wherever and you go swimming, you go tubing, and then you come back and you do a cookout. And then I've done it where I've literally just have like a tarp above me, and then I'm in like a little like a hammock, just like 2 feet off the ground sleeping, and I'm almost completely
Oh,
exposed to the
nice.
wilderness. Oh, it was an absolute blast. I did that for I want to say a week. I did that.
Where?
Uh,
Where in at
uh,
the States?
yeah, yeah. I was in Arizona, somewhere up in the Rocky Mountains. I can't remember
Ah, okay,
exactly where,
nice, nice.
but yeah, we did that, and then we had a lake or a river that ran down the mountain, across our campsite, and further up the river there was a big pool of water that we could fish in, and then
Oh,
it was also
wow,
deep enough where we could
awesome.
rock jump into the water as well. Yeah, and both of those though they were really amazing experiences, but completely different versions of camping. Like I feel like people they hear any and not even just camping, but they hear a version of doing something and they think that is the one and only way to do it, whether it's cooking or camping or going on a date. There's so many different ways to do things, and they're all enjoyable in their own way. And I think that we just need to sort of take a step back to recognize that and appreciate each situation for what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
How old are you kids? You said they're just turned 5, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be 6 in a month.
6 in a month. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
6 years old. They start in school then.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Few
nervous?
months. Yeah, I'm not nervous.
No.
I want them to grow up.
Yeah. Are they nervous?
We asked them today this question about the school. They said no, no, we're not nervous.
Good. Good.
Uh,
Do you have like do you have friends with kids that they get to hang out with and stuff, so they kind of get rid of the social
yeah, yeah.
anxiety?
Also family-wise and friends. Yeah, yeah. They uh, by the way, most of the band members don't have kids. Not most of them. I'm the
No.
only one with kids. So
Oh wow.
tomorrow,
Okay.
like we have a gathering. They come over to my place, and we're gonna play acoustic jamming
Yeah.
in the yard with barbecue.
Yeah.
But the kids will be on their own. But it's a nice experience for them because they really like the bandmates. They are like, oh, Black Bart is coming. Oh wow, wow, and
Yeah.
Monarch is coming. Oh wow, yes, yes. They really
Do you
like
have
them.
them? Do they come to your shows then at all?
The kids? No,
Yeah.
no.
Not
It's
yet.
abroad, so I'm going on my
Ah,
own.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. You said you got the bandmates coming over. So how many of them actually live in Israel with you then?
Okay, so Monarch is from Berlin, but because of the COVID situation, most of his job is, he's a sound engineer in PA systems and live shows. So there are no live shows. So he's got no job
Yeah.
there. So he came back over here to stay a while. The drummer Morax is Ukrainian, but he lives here lately in last years. And Najuolas, the bass player, is Israeli. He's from Israel, and also Blackbard is he was born in Israel. So these
Okay.
days, most of us are here. It's only Monarch, which he lives in Berlin, but as I told you, he is lately is here due to the COVID situation. Yeah, he waits
Yeah.
to things to go back to normal, then he will fly back and go to
Yeah.
his apartment over there.
Yeah. How have you guys been dealing with COVID? Have you been just like taking it kind of downtime altogether? You've been writing a lot of music and designing merch. What have you been all up to?
We had few rehearsals. It's not like we're all we get one or two performances in a year, so it's not like a
Yeah.
big loss to a band like us to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
this situation. It's like okay, so we won't perform this year.
Yeah.
On the one show we had to perform. It sucks, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not that major issue. And the COVID in Israel is pretty over with because the vaccines got like really hardcore here. Like most of the Israel
Really?
is already vaccinated, and there are
Oh my God.
no new. There is almost nothing. There is almost nothing.
Wow.
We still carry out. We are not supposed. We even don't have to carry out the masks outside, but indoors we carry out. All the
Okay.
restaurants are back. Theaters, movie theaters, shows,
Yeah.
music
That
shows.
was fast. Wow.
Everything
They
is
really got it all.
already a
Yeah.
month ago. Already even two
Yeah.
months ago, Israel is back to normal, like fully
Yeah.
flights and everything. So we are
That's
really
amazing.
past.
Good for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the government. One good thing they made is
Yeah.
like let's vaccine everybody. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's good or not, if it works or not. Let's find out. Come on.
Yeah. We're struggling in the States. I want to say overall we're doing decent, but we're struggling to get everybody vaccinated right now. Actually, I'm not sure if it's the whole state. It's all the states are just Ohio. But I heard something about if you're like under the age of 18 and you get vaccinated, they're going to give you free college. And then if you're
Oh
over
wow.
18, yeah, if you're over 18 and get vaccinated, then you're going to get put into a raffle for like $1 million or something. So they're really trying to get people because people they're worried about the vaccination and everything. They have their own beliefs and whatnot. And there's also so many people here that need to get through everything as well that it's taking forever. But that's
Yeah.
amazing to hear that that Israel is getting it done so quickly. Hopefully, there
Yeah,
are other
yeah.
countries that are just knocking it out. But
Yeah, I hope we would see Europe, most of the countries in Europe would execute this really fast and just,
yeah,
come over it. I'm sure that the states are. I heard that there's a lot of vaccines going on in the states at the moment, so I'm
yeah,
sure that everything would go back to normal, unless we would be surprised and something new would come up. So
yeah.
it will
That's
be.
another theory.
I
As soon
won't
as
be
this is done,
surprised,
something else comes. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah, well, I
let's
remember
hope.
for a while it seemed like, because I remember growing up and there was like the swine flu and the bird flu, and they're
Yeah,
like these
exactly,
huge things
exactly.
that scared the
Uh-huh.
hell out of
And
everybody.
SARS. Yeah,
SARS was a big one, and it seemed like they scared everybody, or it seems like they had a similar effect to how this was. This was just a lot faster as far as spreading was, but then
exactly.
because of how fast this spread, it causes global pandemic. So maybe what if that ends up being the case where as these viruses evolve, they just spread faster? You know,
Uh-huh.
they're not necessarily more deadly, they just spread faster, and that's what freaks everybody out. You know, and
Yeah, I
that
think
worries me
also
because
the situation, how humanity dealt with this situation was pretty, it's like if someone makes a car accident, so let's stop driving. It was like,
yeah,
oh my God, you just shut down everything.
yeah.
Was it necessary? I don't know till this day if it was, the right thing, how to manage with such pandemic. I don't know. It was crazy,
I
you think
think, in
about it?
all honesty, it would have to happen a couple more times just because every country reacted differently to it. And in every country, it seems like there are people who are happy and pissed off about how it was handled. Like it's so subjective
Exactly.
to each place. I know, because we're pretty much all open, at least here in Ohio, everything's open. Later, I'm going to the bar to host karaoke, and everybody's
Oh,
going to be singing, not wearing masks and stuff like that. It's going to be a great time. I've been doing it for a couple months now. But then right above us, I could see the land from the top of the state is Canada, and they've been completely shut down the entire time.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it
yeah,
sucks. It sucks.
yeah. So
Yeah.
nobody knows how to do it right. So maybe if it does end up becoming, I hope it doesn't become a somewhat regular thing every couple of years. But if it does, then hopefully we'll figure out a system where it's all like, all right, everybody stay home for 2 weeks. Here's some government money. Go get groceries real quick.
Yeah.
Come back, stay home, and in 2 to 3 weeks we'll be back to normal 100%. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't that
I
be
I
nice?
I I have my way of dealing with it. I just drank my way through the COVID. Smoking and drinking, man. This
That's
is what
funny. That's
this
what a
is
lot
how
of
I
people
deal
did.
with.
Well, I
This is
saw
how
a
I deal with
meme
a
of
lot of
that.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? If you're able to function properly, and I mean like actually function properly, not think you're functioning properly, but if you're able to function properly, take care of your job, take care of your household, take care of your family, and take care of yourself, if that's how you want to go about it that way. As long as you're not hurting
No,
anybody or being
I'm doing it
self-destructive.
responsibility. No, no, it's not self-destruct.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
not in that
Yeah.
situation. No, no, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
It's
because
okay.
I know I can tell that you're responsible about it, but then other people hear this and be like, oh, I can just smoke pot and drink every day and I'll be good for life. All right, then it's like, no, that's not what we're saying. Be responsible for the love of God. Like,
Just make it alive.
yeah, but a lot of people did that. I saw memes
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over the internet. It's like, how'd you get through? It's like me talking to future generations. How'd you get through COVID, Dad? I just smoked pot and kept drinking, and it was working. Like, next thing one long binger later, and it was over. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
oh man, how's the family been through COVID with the kids and everything?
Oh, that was hard because there were no kindergartens and we
Yeah,
both work, and it was terrible. Yeah,
yeah,
I think I think the biggest headache I got from this whole COVID thing was being. I love my kids, but being with them 24/7 for a month or 2 months, it was wow. That was
yeah,
harsh for them as well. They're not used to that, like being inside the house all day long and not able to go places. That they're kids. They wanna. Oh, they have hunger for the world, for stuff, for doing stuff. And it
yeah.
was like every day inside the house, I'm mad, mad.
Yeah. Well, I think that was probably, in all honesty, I think that was probably one of my favorite things, but also one of the most constructive parts about COVID was people had to be forced to realize how much they do and do not like each other and their families. They had to live
Yeah.
together, like
No,
actually live together.
it's naturally to, it's like they're saying, you don't want to work in a business where your wife works there as well. So you are there with her at home and at work, and there is a limit to each person where we can hang out together, but like friends. In the end, we go
Yeah,
to other stuff we do, then
yeah,
come back together. So I think it was intense. It was intense. Yeah, a lot
yeah.
of divorce happened through COVID. This is what I
Yes.
know. So
Yeah,
that
a
is
lot of divorce and a lot of baby making. is what
Yeah.
happened all throughout COVID.
And those that made babies also divorced.
I know. Well, so people have been talking about how this generation is going to be the next generation of baby boomers because the government just
Yeah.
forced the entire world to stay inside with your significant other for months at a time.
Yeah, not everybody likes to smoke and drink, so
No, yeah, you need some
so they
kind of
find
outlet,
something.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is when it's very for it's and it was scary at the time, but looking at it now, it's fun to laugh at. Is how there were people who thought you couldn't leave the house at all. Like if you breathed in the air outside, you were gonna like turn like a zombie. Like
Yeah, going out with full mask on, like
yeah, you had all those people buying up all the toilet paper and all the groceries
Oh,
and
the
just
toilet
stocking
paper
up
was
on
weird.
water.
That was
Yeah,
weird. The issue with the
yeah.
toilet paper, I was like, what are they doing? I think
It's
that
one of those
all
things where
people
like
see differently about surviving. They have their
yeah,
own. I will just wipe my ass. I will
yeah,
wipe my ass all day long. That will help me.
yeah.
What?
You're sitting on the TV, sitting watching TV, all like, oh, what do you think about it? I'm gonna go wipe my ass. But yeah, like I was it's one of those things that you don't think about until it's not there. Like how many times
Exactly.
have you been in
Yeah.
the bathroom and you get done and you turn over and you just see that sad bare piece of cardboard staring at you. Just there's like that little sliver that's stuck to the glue still. You're like, ah, can I manage like with the tip of my it's not gonna
Well,
work. Yeah,
let's use the
goodbye.
dish.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
socks.
T-shirt. Yeah.
But it brought out crazy sides of people, and it made people. I know it made me a lot more motivated to do shit, like because it forced me to sit down and think, all right, what am I doing with my life, and what do I want to do with my life? What are little things every day that I can start doing to improve myself? What were some of those things for you? Like, what were not even just COVID, but like, what are some things in general as you've grown up that you've learned to start doing every day to help take care of yourself and sort of just keep yourself
Well,
functioning at like a
yeah,
sane
yeah.
level?
The biggest change I had in my life happened a few years ago when I became a father, and it took like 2 years when my kids were in like 2 or 3, because the hardest time with kids is like the first few years,
Yeah.
and then it just hit me, each day that ends up or begins and everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
Just healthy. I came to realize that I need to appreciate it as the most important thing in life, that
Yeah.
everybody's just healthy. The things that all your life you think they're like, yeah. What do you mean? Why should something happen? Why you think, why? No, that's okay. Yeah, everybody's healthy. You come to cherish it when you grow older, because I didn't, for my good luck, I didn't experience on my own, but you hear stuff happens to this friend and to that friend, and you grow older and you have some perspective about life, 40 years now. So it's like, oh wow, I so many bad things can happen each moment. It's not like I'm freaking out, or I'm not, on the opposite. It makes you appreciate when you just can, you know, hang back and drink a whiskey, a
Yeah.
good whiskey, and just think, oh, it was a good day. Everybody's okay. Another day comes tomorrow. I hope everyone wakes up with a smile or not. Just be happy that they wake up
Yeah.
and they can stand on their feet and everything is okay. So, yeah, this is a major change that happened to me, because I was like, going with life. Like I think most of people, like, if nothing happens, so you don't stop and say, oh, nothing bad happens. Wow, that's awesome. No, you just go on, till something bad happens, and to
Yeah.
cherish those moments, it's pretty important. It's like you have a goal in your life, and you all the time thinking, "Oh fuck, I need to get it, I need to get it, I need to get it," and you have a long way to doing it, like in music,
Yeah.
and you work hard and stuff like that. But stop for a moment and enjoy the road. Enjoy the path you took, because it's a quest, it's a travel, it's a long way to go, and just enjoy the ride. This is the thing that I think it sounds like a cliche, but it takes 40 years for me to understand something that can be like, well, yeah, I feel that when I was 5. It took you 40 years. Well, for me, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I needed a long way to go in life to appreciate the small things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is different for everybody. It all depends. It's that nature versus nurture. Some people naturally have that appreciation for the little things, or just simply are drawn to them. And then other people, they have to be they have to be humbled a bit. They have to learn that life isn't always going to be given to you the way that you want it to. Sometimes you got to kind of take it on the chin, and you have to enjoy when you get those breaks, or when you get that homemade meal, or even for some people, things like fresh water and stuff. That's one thing that I think I was probably like 14 or 15 when I realized, and it blew my mind, was that uh, here in America, at least, and a lot of like any like first world country, the water that you piss and shit in is cleaner than a lot of other countries' drinking water.
Yeah, yeah.
That's mind-boggling to think about. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
You need to sometimes get a perspective for things, how bad they can be on the other side, and
yeah,
appreciate what you got, and not just
yeah,
always think about, I can get the grass greener, I can
yeah,
get the trees bigger, I can
yeah,
get my bank account bigger, I can get a
yeah,
bigger car, bigger house. Sometimes it's
yeah,
good to have aims, it's good to
yeah,
be in progress,
yeah.
but enjoy the ride. Just enjoy
Yeah,
the ride.
well, and around that same age time is when I kind of like realized and accepted the fact that because I am human and everything, and because I understand what's going on around me for as best as I can, because who really understands what the fuck's going on around us? No matter how good I have it, I'm naturally always going to want to have it better in some way, whether it's big or small. But that being said, no matter how bad I have it, I know for a fact that there are hundreds of thousands of people who have had it much, much worse.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that's something I just try to keep in mind. It helps motivate me to have that progress and those goals, like you said, but then also be able to enjoy the little things like the conversation we're having right now, stuff like that, or the nice weather outside. Those little
awesome.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're coming up at the end of our time here. Is there any
yeah.
last words that you'd like to say? Any shows or any kind of new music or videos you got coming out? I know you got the one or a couple music videos on YouTube. They really kick ass. I watched them all. Really love doing it. But yeah, any last things you want to plug in?
Well, I just can tell people that you should be proud about the things you are making in life. Don't feel like you came to this world to live in someone else's world.
Yeah.
Make your own, and yeah, just rock and roll.
Oh my God,
Stay
absolutely love it.
safe.
I would definitely love to have you back on. Would love to meet the other bandmates. We'll
Great,
keep in
Gavin.
touch for sure. Thank you so much for being on
It's
here.
great.
Once again,
Thank
this
you.
has been Between the Notes. My name is Gavin Kerr. Have a wonderful time. Take care.